A hope. How do we know someone's hope? How do we measure it? Is something that I keep wondering. My name is Valentina, and I will bring you through this story of hope. One that, if you don't look closely, will mistake as just another story of sadness. And it's all began in that winter night, the last evening of the year. The snow covered everything as it falls heavily, terribly cold and freezing, and in those cold and darkness, there walked a little girl across the street with her bare head and her naked feet. Oh. She wears slippers, a pair of huge slippers when she left home, but what does it good do to her? No. It was her mother's. So huge, so worn out that it lost in a small accident with the carriage. One of the slippers, nowhere to be seen. One of the other, an urchin took it away. That boy think it would do good to him. So he ran with it, leaving the poor little girl walks with her bare naked feet on the snow, red and blue, full of bruises, out of cold. And in her apron she carries a quantity of matches. Some of the bundles is in her hand. A lot of them, and she's supposed to sell them, but no one in that cold day bought anything from her. No one gave a single farthing. And there she crept along the road, cold and hungry, truly a picture of sorrow. And the snowflake falls beautifully on her fair hair, her long curly fair hair that lays beautifully on her shoulder. But to that she pays no mind at all, for her mind wanders toward those candles, warm candles in the windows, one with the laughter of the family, with the smell of the food, a celebration of the New Year's Eve, the blessed New Year's Eve that she does not have. And there in the corner of the house, she caught herself, seated herself down, dragged her feet closer to her body, tried to warm herself. But the cold, she just grew colder and colder. And to go home, she have no bravery to do that because her father would be really angry. She had not sold any of the matches. Her father would hit her. So she stays there. And her home, it's cold. They only have one roof full of holes, and it just blew cold wind inside, and no matter how many rags, no matter how many straws cover the holes, it's still cold. So she stood there, and as her hand goes numb, she thought the matches would bring her a world of comfort. So she took one. She lighted it on the wall, and it burned brightly, beautifully and warm. It looks like a candle. She stretched her hand out towards the warmth, and it felt like she sat in front of a fireplace, one that is really warm. She stretched her hand out, she stretched her legs out, but before she can feel the warmth, it died. So she took another one. Being greedy, she turned it again, and those where the light falls, she saw the wall goes transparent, and she saw a beautiful table with beautiful tablecloths and porcelain. There she saw a beautiful geese, or roasted goose with the filling, stuffing of a plum and apple, and it's so beautiful and delicious. She reached her hand out, and when she almost touched it, the lights off. She left with a cold, damp wall, so she took another match. And when the lights brightly shine, she saw this beautiful tree, one she never seen before, with the candles sparkling in each branch beautifully, and with a lot of presents under there. One she never saw. Even the merchant's house have never had one tree that beautiful. And when the light slowly dimmer, slowly gone, the tree fly high to the sky, leaving a trail marks like a star falling from the sky. Oh, someone died tonight, she said to herself. For her grandmother told her that if a star falling from the sky, a soul sent to God. So she took another matches and she burned it. And there in front of her stood her grandma, so bright, so beautifully, the only person on earth that has shown her love. And she called her grandma, 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 I miss you. Don't leave me. Don't leave me, Grandma. When the lights off, you will go away like the fireplace, like the goose, like the trees, and I don't want you to leave. So she took that bunch of matches and she burned it all so brightly, and she never saw her grandma so beautiful, so radiant. So she stretched her hand out to the arms of her grandma and she hugged her. And they slowly fly to the place when there is no hunger, no anxiety, nor cold. They flew to God. And in the next morning, people saw a girl dying in the corner of the house. Everyone thinks it's a poor thing, but no one knows. No one have no idea and the hope she had seen that day in the New Year Eve.